Well, hi, Pete. People should sign up for our event.
So we're getting right there. Bring money.
Hello, dear listeners. This is your friend Mark Fisher. Don't worry, it's actually it's a very affordable event, really. So if this is not us about grabbing money, this is about us wanting to hang out with you. Here with my pal, the inimitable Pete Dupuis. And in today's podcast, we hope you'll indulge us while we tell you why you, if you haven't already done so, should sign up for the Gym Owner Masterclass happening in Warwick, Rhode Island, on Friday, May 16th, with a half day on Saturday, May 17th, so you can get home to your family for $149 if you sign up for the early bird price, which is ending on April 18th. So, Pete, we have a lot of people listening. Why should they join us?
The value is insane. It makes me feel guilty about it. I remember Eric and I for a while did what we called basically a business masterclass, just explaining how we launched and continued to run a performance training gym. I think we called it the business building mentorship, and we charged $1,000 for a full day. And we covered similar content and concepts to I know what we do with this, since this is going to be our second go at this. So in hindsight, I feel either guilty for overdoing it or concerned that we're underdoing it from a cost perspective here. Maybe it's a little bit of both. But it's just crazy value. It's not that many people.
Everybody should thank Chris Poirier Perform Better. Thank Chris Poirier.
Exactly. But it's a small room.
Yeah.
It's a real small room, which is nice. And I mean, people want to have access to the lecturers who are sharing the information at the front of the room. This is all day access, lunch together and then dinner together and drinking coffee together between drinks or between presentations. And it's just immensely valuable for the investment.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly the most absurdly affordable way. You're going to get certainly this type of in-person access to us, where we will not only go deep on the various topics, but there's plenty of us time to help you contextualize for you and your business, because we have both time together and we have the opportunity to do it in a relatively intimate crew, because as Pete mentioned, the room is not of unlimited size. I would also note the other thing logistically that is to your benefit is Warwick, Rhode Island, where Perform Better is located, where we'll be doing it in their beautiful headquarters, which, by the way, is like worth checking out in of itself. Is just a very affordable place to be, right? It's not like doing something in Midtown Manhattan. So truly, if you want to come in Friday morning, you're going to get in and out for the cost of like a very affordable hotel room in Warwick, Rhode Island. I believe the lunches and even maybe some snacks and coffee in the morning are covered. So really, you're going to, buy yourself an affordable dinner while you hang out with me and Pete, maybe grab a snack at the Applebee's and buy a beer. And yeah, the value is through the roof, I think, for what it is. And the other pitch that I want to make to you, this is a framework I talk about a lot, but I think it bears repeating. One of the things that I believe we need to do as gym owners, as entrepreneurs, as creative people is periodically spice it up. Now, I think anybody that knows me knows I am one that can easily become habituated to my routines. I love my routines. I like doing the same thing in the same order. That works really well for me. However, one of the ways we're able to take different actions to get different results in our business is through getting different inputs. And I think there's three ways that we can do that. There is changing up our physical environment. There is changing up our intentional environment, what we're giving our attention to. And then thirdly, there is our social environment, the people that we're with, the conversations that we're having. And the benefit of something like this is it's getting you out of your physical gym, right? So you're out of your day-to-day. You're getting exposed to, certainly some of it likely will be new information, unless you follow every damn thing we have to say. For some of you, it might even be a reminder of maybe some things you've heard, but because now you have this dedicated mental space to think about working on your business, it might land differently and help you unlock, okay, this is actually the thing, an idea whose time has come. Or in some cases, we've all done the thing that works so well, we stopped doing it. So in some cases, it's a reminder of the thing that had been working that you forgot. And then again, that social environment. You are around peers, around other people that own gyms, you're around me, you're around Pete, you're around Ben, and having conversations with other people that understand the particular joys and triumphs of what we do and can also relate and be sympathetic ears for the slings and arrows of what we do. As we know, we also have some unique challenges in our business, like all of them. I think can be the surest way to feel like you're not crushing up and snorting crazy pills. Pete, anything you'd add to that?
From a subject matter standpoint, I think it's worth pointing out that
Yeah.
we definitely cover kind of the foundational basics of gym ownership to a degree, the stuff that speaks to the broadest swath of the gym owner population. But what's interesting about that is that in looking at my slides recently from last spring, I realize the what we qualify as best practices for foundational basics is constantly changing because of the access that we have to 140 or so like rock star operators. And it's pretty
Yes.
fascinating how the narrative changes over the course of a year of good conversations with good operators. And so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I just it doesn't get
Yeah.
stale, and the information is very current for that reason because we have a lot of tinkerers in our community who aren't just taking what we
Yep.
say in our playbooks or whatever we're spewing for information internally within BFU. A lot of them are going there and then another step and then bringing it back to us. And so to a
Yes.
degree my kind of content consumption list of to-dos also involves just showing up for my coaching calls because people are teaching me every time I get in there,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
starting to bleed into this content. So even if you came last year, I would
Yes.
contend that this is worth running it back if you want to get out and kind of scratch that social seminar environment itch, because I know my stuff's shifting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know there are going to be some meaningful changes, and it is interesting too because last year, just for a little bit of context for listeners, we sold out very quickly. So from the very beginning, we talked with Chris about okay, well, let's we can do it again. It's great that we sold out, but obviously people can't get in when that happens. And when we were talking about how we would conceive of this one, what changes we want to make, what we kind of landed on, which I think was the right call, is the structure actually is almost identical to last year as far as the general topics that each of us are covering, but the actual specifics of the various pieces of content will likely vary from slightly changed to meaningfully changed, right? Because things are changing, right? And I think one of the benefits of this is, as Pete mentioned, it's not just us at this point, it's also a group of very high performing gym owners, and we can let you know what's working now in 2025. I also note comically, they actually didn't update the first bullet point in the landing page I'll change. It says the 5 best lead generation strategies for 2024. Don't worry, I'm not doing that one. I'm doing 5 best lead generation strategies for 2025 because truly things are always evolving, and we want to give you insight into what's working now for the top 1% of the industry, where people are, in some situations making 100K, 150K, 200K or more, which is not uncommon for the compensation for
Yeah,
owners in our
like I said,
community.
absolute killers. I have found that I've had to update a lot of the information because Ben is not that patient with me when I use my own PowerPoint templates and things like that for these events. And we have a really beautiful new keynote template for Unicorn Society as I prepare for a
We do.
yeah, but it
Oh,
means
and
that I
it's
have to
just
ask
so
myself
annoying to have to
how
update
current is
it.
this stuff, and
Yes.
there's a pretty significant change.
Yeah. Yep. 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 All right, friends. Well, we hope you will consider joining us. Yeah, we'll keep this short today. We usually shy away from doing any kind of like hard pitching on this. We'd like to lead with value, but this particular masterclass, something we're very much looking forward to. And I just want to reiterate, it is very unlikely you'll ever have this priced chance to spend this much time with us in person for such an affordable venue. And of course, Perform Better is the absolute best in the game. I assume if you're listening, you already know that. And I hope you're already working with them as your vendor of choice for all of your equipment needs. But it's also a real treat to be in Perform Better headquarters, to spending time with Chris Poirier and the team. They're just the best of the best. Pete, is there anything else you want to share? Any other final admonitions or
Yeah, I'd say
pitches
if
for
you're
why
one of the
people should come
people
hang
who
out with
has
us?
already signed up or is about to sign up, I enjoy engaging with incoming audience in advance. So if you do have this on your agenda, shoot
Yeah.
me an email, Pete at Business for Unicorns, because I love it when people who intend to be in the room sway my content strategy because they ask meaningful and interesting questions. And so if somebody signs up because they want to have a specific conversation, I'd love to have a heads up on where that's headed so that I can really be prepared and show up and deliver.
Fantastic. All right, friends. Well, the only thing you need to do now is click the link, which you should be able to find in the show notes or somewhere around here. As a reminder, early bird ends and the price goes up after April 18th. So do be sure to make sure you get signed up before then. And yeah, like Pete mentioned, we'd love to hear from you in advance if you're going. We'll certainly be reaching out to find out a little bit more about your gym because we are really committed to making sure this is a super valuable experience for you. And We cannot wait. So I hope to see you all soon. I hope we share a crisp IPA at the delightful Applebee's in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Do it.
All right, friends. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.